guess it's similar. I thought it occurred to him when he decided to buckle down and pursue that. Catch up.
Yeah. So I'm gonna teach the lesson anyway.
Yeah, where's everyone?
I don't know. So very few people here today.
Do I have to make
But I totally didn't send out the email, so I kind of blame myself. No one knows it's happening, I think.
Oh. Do I have to make various kinds of noises? Shuffle
Maybe,
feet and all that?
maybe. Colin can help too.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm gonna suggest, John.
Oh, the rest of the stuff we did, that was recorded too? Oh,
No, I just hit record right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Do you want to take some stones out though, so you can practice these? Because today I want to finish our little trilogy here of weird Joseki. And so 2 weeks ago we did the 5-3. Last week we did the 5-4. Today I wanted to show
The summary. Okay.
you and the folks at home some Joseki with the 3-3, the San Sans. This is sort of our last standard weird opening. If there is such a thing as standard weird openings. So do you know how to approach this, John?
It seems like you could approach it in a couple of different ways,
Sure.
mainly from the outside.
Okay, so give me some points.
4-4.
4-4 is the standard, most common one. Very good.
Oops.
Any others?
Seems to me like you do on the 3-4, you kind of
3-4?
invite a problem. I've never been real comfortable
This
with
is
that.
weird.
Yes.
That would be weird.
It's also weird if you did it underneath, too.
This is also very weird.
Yes.
Very weird. But two other normal approaches. Maybe there's a fourth pseudo-normal one. I guess really four, maybe 5 pseudo-normal ones that are playable. So that's certainly number 1. Number 2 is probably here. 3 is probably here.
Not the 5-4?
This is also possible. So I'm trying to do them like sort of like order of
Yeah.
what you see in games. I think that's number 1. Either here or here is number 2. I'm not really sure which one. But you have 2, 3, and then 4 and 5 are sort of your normal approaches. Let's actually look at this one first, just because this is probably the simplest. So why would white play here? What do you think?
It's not so close that it invites reaction from black in a way that would be immediately deleterious.
Yeah, like if we play here, right, this way,
Yeah.
our stone's immediately in trouble. So we're giving it just a little bit of space.
It also does crowd black a little bit. Maybe he can't ignore it.
This is very threatening, yeah. If white gets another move here, this is actually turns this stone into a really weak stone. Black can't necessarily easily get 2 eyes here.
Yeah.
So black kind of has to get out.
So it's kind of vaguely threatening.
White can still invade here actually, which is cool. So this is, yeah, black definitely wants to respond to this. And there's a very common response for black in this case. It's usually just to play here. Unless, of course, white already has something over here, in which case we'll see either here or here. But basically, we're going to play normally here. And this again, helps develop the side, doesn't let black get sealed in the corner, and puts a lot of pressure on white. So, very common. White will often play some other move over here, depending on what the formation is, either this, or maybe that. Just make a base. So very simple, very simple. This is actually probably the simplest way to approach this stone. It's very direct, it's very blunt. It's just saying, hey, I'm going to do something over here, and encourages your opponent to do something over here. Black does get a better result here, especially if black can play another move over here. Black's expansion is quite large, has the corner. White's not entirely safe. This is nice for black, but we already know it's going to be black's corner. So, and if this is really what white needed in this game, if white really needed a group here, if this is breaking up a large black formation, then this is white's entirely happy too. So.
Well, if there wasn't a black formation there, it was pretty much just what we see on the board. In this result, this would come up a little short for white.
Yeah, absolutely. If this is the only thing on the board, white I think is a little more unhappy here.
So
because this is not efficient enough, right?
Yeah.
This is good for breaking up a moya or making a base within a potential black area, but this isn't a potential black area yet.
So probably with nothing else on the board, the 3-5 is not so well indicated.
Yeah, well, I would say with nothing else on the board, you don't want to approach this stone anyway.
Yeah.
The problem with this move, we play this move, because it takes care of the corner, right? This area of the board is now done,
Yeah.
right? No one cares about this area of the board right now. It actually totally makes it less hot of an area to play in, makes it less interesting for all players. This is hard for black to develop, and it's very difficult for white to develop. So this area is not at all interesting, so the correct move is to go play somewhere else. So we only approach the black stone this way or this way when we know what we want, when now the rest of the board is interesting, and now there's a bias, right? There's usually going to be a side that's developable for both players. We want to come and take that side. So that makes this playable.
So this would be like a late beginning.
Yeah, late opening approach, yeah, for sure. You're definitely not going to do any of these moves early on in the opening. Like the 3-3, just by the nature of it, when we play it, we're not interested in this corner. It's not developable. Remember how Go works? Go works like this. If I'm on the second line, this is not interesting at all, right? There's no big potential for either player here. Third line, it's a little more potential, but really still usually not enough to care about. This is not a hot area of the board. This is defensive posture. This starts to become offensive. This is a more aggressive kind of distance from the board where we're trying to encircle a larger area. And not only that, it also looks more to the outside. So, usually in a game of Go, whenever someone plays a high stone, that's going to heat up that area of the board. Whenever we play a low stone, that's going to cool down that area of the board. So by its very nature, when we play 3-3, we're making this a less hot, quote-unquote, area of the board. This becomes much less interesting for both players, at least for a while, until we know what else is on the board. So yeah, so here's your first Joseki, right? You practice this one. There it is. Very simple. Very simple. You know this one?
2 points.
Do you know this one?
That Joseki?
Yeah.
Never seen it before.
Well, see, then you should be paying attention. Might learn something. Yes. All right. We have a similar situation when white plays here. Very similar. In this case, white's trying to give a little more space away from black, so white doesn't have to dig in as hard. White will treat this stone a little bit lighter. This also is more likely to take some sort of sente or play some sort of more developing move. So let's say white already had maybe some stones over here like this. Then yes, we'd want to approach it. I guess this is still playable too for that matter, but actually either one. They're very similar, very similar. With this type of move, black can still make the same response, and then white can come back and play a move like this that develops the whole side. We're just trying to play high again just because the outside is important, right? We're interested in the outside. We're interested in a bigger position. This is also playable. Like this would also be fine here or here. But again, the idea is stay away from black so black can't counterattack as easily. However, when white approaches here, because this is a softer approach, right? This isn't as close. Black can also play a softer response. And white usually just responds the same here, maybe even here. But some way over here to balance out the stone. If white already has response up here, white can actually just sort of try to seal in this corner. But again, it's a very loose approach. It's one that keeps the global position in mind a lot more than the local position. White is less interested in settling and is more interested in being flexible and developing something on a larger scale.
So if white makes the move on the 10-3, black responds.
Oh, and then 10-3.
10-3.
Yeah.
Okay, at this point, does black have to worry that with that last white move that white can now jump into the corner?
No, there's not really a real, I mean, at least not in the corner proper.
Yeah.
White does have moves like this and like this to cause trouble.
Yeah.
But in a case like this, black's actually fine.
So as far as black's move at this point, black does not have to worry about that yet.
No, this will certainly shrink. This move can shrink the corner. Yes, we can totally reduce the corner to almost nothing. Here's an example. If black just comes over here, yeah, white can come over here, and here, sort of depending. Something like this. So white can make black's corner much smaller.
Yeah.
But
not in the immediate.
it's not like black's in trouble. Black still has a strong position. But on the other hand, This stone, once we put a stone here, also gives black a lot of trouble. So if white has a stone here and here, these points become very weak now. And serve as good invasions for white if black doesn't do anything. So totally possible to come play in here, or even here for that matter. You can play something like this. Black just comes on top. You can play in the corner first, and white just connects out. So black's in a difficult spot here. So black has to be careful if white gets more influence in the corner, because black will, this large knight will become weak very, very quickly.
So black, be careful, but don't panic.
Yeah, don't panic. Again, normally black will play a move over here just to, again, to keep developing and be defensive in this formation. So, very possible. Pretty simple Joseki, right? So, we have option 1, tight approach, tight response, make a base. We have a looser approach, which black can still play tightly. This is a little bit slow, because white could even just play here and try to make black over-concentrated. But this is playable for black. It's still Joseki. It's not a big problem. But usually black will often consider playing a little bit looser, and white will just back off and develop a side that white wants anyway, usually. So those are pretty simple variations. And again, none of these 3-3 stone variations are really that difficult. Really, they're just, you know, there's really not that many compared to the 3-4 or the 5-3 or even the 5-4 Joseki. So if you just learn these few, you can actually use this a lot in your own games. It's really not that hard. All right, so we looked at 2 of the most common outside approaches to this 3-3 stone here and there, right? Both of those I would add to your default approach list. I want to look at the most standard one. This one probably has the most complicated variations. Even then, they're really not that complicated. So if someone does this to you, what do you do about it? What do you do? What would you want to do as a black player?
Run out.
Run out. Which side do you want to run out?
Probably the side, well, I don't know. I think my understanding this is that the end result is going to be that white gets outside influence.
That's right. That is the usual result.
And I'm trying to decide how can I make a difference, yes, but how does it make any difference which direction I go? I don't know.
Yeah, the direction here can be really tricky. Here, I'll show you sort of the prototypical exchange where black gets the corner, white gets the influence. So black plays here, just crawl out. White would either usually extend or possibly jump, but extends probably slightly more normal. Black will usually knights move out. White will sort of, again, keep trying to develop this area while maintaining some shape and central influence for this group. And black says, that's great, I'm going to jump out over here. And white will come over here. This is sort of your prototypical standard Joseki, if there ever was one. Black gets a nice big corner. White basically has all the central influence, though. Like this black group has almost no influence on anything over here whatsoever.
Does black have any prospect or point in trying to slide across the top and undermine the white?
Absolutely, but normally this move is too small, right?
Yeah.
So this makes this area less interesting. And white can just say, hey, that's great, you want that? Good, I'm going to keep developing the middle and the side over there.
So you can, but that's not the biggest move.
Exactly, absolutely. Like this is totally a move later. You know, we will want to play this if white ever really threatens to make something really big here and we can't reduce it from this side. Absolutely, great move. But right now it's so small. I mean, we're adding 3 points to our own score maybe, and these aren't necessarily white's points yet either. So until white really threatens to make this something big, very, very small move. And it's probably better to take a bigger point. Even if this was the board position, I'd be so happy if you played this right now as black. I'd be thrilled. Because taking this open corner with these formations is huge. All of this works together, right? This 5-4, the 4-4, the central influence, all works together. Whereas you're taking 3 points. So usually we see black Sibicky here, right? Locally, it's Joseki's done. There are variations where we can poke at it. if we want to start some sort of a fight right now. But again, usually Tanuki. So let's practice this one. So black 3-3, 4-4, crawl once, Knights move out, jump, keep developing the center, Knights move out, jump.
Two-point jump.
Yeah, 2-point jump. Very good. So that's probably your most standard version of this Joseki. There are some special cases to go over though. Let's say white has, oh, I don't know, something like that. All right, so normally in this case we'd probably expect to see a white approach here or here. But for whatever reason, let's say white plays here. And black should probably go this way in this example, but let's say black goes this way. And white extends, and black plays the normal Joseki. Well, in this case, because this is such a big developable area for white, white should just turn. Let black destroy this. White is happy developing this. We already have a stone here.
I think we saw this exact situation in one of the other Josekis a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, this comes up a lot in like the 3-4 variations, right? Where we have something like this, and black. If black plays here, white should not, or white should definitely play here. White should not play this one, right? White should just be happy. I'm just going to play here, and again develop. Very easy. So similar idea, very similar idea.
Well, that would explain one loss a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, you didn't pick the right one.
Oops.
So if black does this and white does this, often black will actually just keep destroying this way. But the downside is white will come back and develop this way. And even then, white can still apply more pressure here. Whoops, that's a triple magnet. A lot of magnets. White can still keep harassing this group with, we have a ladder here, we have a ceiling move, we have, this threatens a peep. There's a lot of ways to harass this group.
Poking through, I think, would not be advisable. That point on the 10-3 was there.
I would say this is definitely not something you want to do yet. You really need the ladder to do this. Because if we don't have the ladder, that just doesn't work. And if we try to play a move like this, well, not exactly sure what the proper move is here, but, and again, this might not come up with, black might prep a move over here first at some point. If we just try to get out with this group, these stones are really hurt. So it can be very difficult to make this cut right away work. Because this group is super strong in the corner, and this group has no friends, and there's one move behind if we keep Atarying out. And of course, if we Atari this way, now these two need help. And if they just play a slack move like this, oh, there's all sorts of, I don't know, no one ever plays this. Not sure what the shape move is. Maybe there. That's weird looking. I don't know. But same kind of idea. This group is hurt. So maybe it's playable. But usually not, if you don't have the ladder, you probably shouldn't poke here to begin with. You save it for later until you have a ladder. Okay, so just to recap what that was all about. Black comes here, and white comes here. If black decides, no, this side I don't care about, it's really this side, black can just play here, or here too, this is okay. But probably here, white just comes down and just goes and develops this side. So also possible. And if black plays here, white can also turn, also Joseki. If both sides are important, white can just take one, whichever one white wants, or whichever one black wants, sorry. Okay, let's look at a new idea. So we basically saw that no matter what white does here, if white just extends, white will get some sort of influence. Black will always get the corner, has no effect on any of that. But often it's black's decision exactly what black gets. Let's play another variation where there's a few more variables. Take these off. So instead of extending, we're going to jump. This is a little bit lighter. What it's really saying is often this side is more important. I'm not as interested in this side. I'm really interested over here. At the very least, I'm more interested in the center, and I'm more interested in playing quickly. So black has a couple of options.
Playing quickly, you mean playing to develop?
Yeah, playing to develop very fast. Okay. Playing to develop lots of moves in the middle to develop, something big. Black really has two normal options here, but I'm going to show you probably the one that's locally the best result for black, at least in terms of raw points, and that's to clamp. You ever seen this move before?
Yeah, I would not have thought it here.
Ah, yeah.
Probably I thought maybe just wrapping around the corner would be powerful.
This is okay. This is okay, but the problem is it actually makes white's shape really good. Because now, are you going to play?
Yeah.
If you play this side, well now check this out. This is a nice wall for white. If you play over here, this is a nice wall for white.
I see.
So, I mean, you get your corner, you get the one thing you're really entitled to, but white's thickness is very apparent very quickly.
So that's where you're actually assisting white.
Yeah, it's too slow. It's more like it's just too slow.
Yeah.
We need to play a move that's a little bit more severe in this case to make sure that we get a good result. So that's the clamp in this position. This is a hard move, I think, for a lot of key players to remember just because white plays here, it looks like, oh, I have all this open space. Clearly, I should play something over here. Well, you need to play the severe one. And white really only has, I think there's only one option for white. Is there any other options? Not that I know of. Maybe there are more options, but I really only know of one, and that's here.
I would have thought that 16-3 had some, if black tries to cut underneath, like Atari.
Which one?
From the inside of the board. Yeah, there. And then wrap around.
Wrap around like here?
Yeah.
Oh, this is bad for white.
Okay.
You go again?
I see where this gets ugly.
Yeah, this gets really ugly really quickly. Do you go again?
No.
Do you jump?
At this point, I think chase after the ladder of the white stone. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought
we're trying to make this not suck for white.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think white would either play again or play at 15, what's that, 5, 6, yeah.
Yeah, but if you do this,
yeah,
how about this? Yeah, this is not a good fight for white.
Okay. So take this back and show us the clamp and
yeah, this was a very there you go. Yeah, this is very greedy. Very dangerous move. Because black splits immediately, and now you're in a fight where black already has the 3-3 point, which is very strong for making a base. So very, very difficult for white to get a good result here. So that's why white plays here.
now if black plays on the 16-3.
Yeah, this is Joseki. This is normal.
Okay.
But the next move might surprise you.
Well, I could see setting up a code threat, but
It looks like it's going to go to Ko, but this Joseki never goes to Ko. At least as far as I've seen. Failing is a really bad idea. Can never play this, right? Black just comes out here. You have no eye shape. Black has the corner. Development has undercut you. You have no eyes.
it just seems too much.
So can't fill. But white can play here.
Yes.
Black takes. The next move is a move that I think, if you don't know it, a Q player is more likely to find than a Don level player. Because a Don level player does not like this shape. Like this shape looks bad for Don level players because they have peep, underneath. It just looks wrong. Whereas Q players like the shape all the time, right? They're like tiger's mouth, no problem.
Immediately try to protect that. but they're immediately trying to protect the stone on 15, was that 5 there with the key, the center white stone. They're immediately protecting it before it's attacked.
Yeah, it's just trying to prevent the attack,
Yeah.
right? So we have to do something right now. Joseki is for black to take profit.
So that is Joseki.
This is Joseki, yes. And I'll show you the end result. The end result's not too difficult to find once you've come this far. The clamp is probably the hardest part, in fact. The clamp and the counter Atari. So that's your Joseki.
So this is a pretty big corner for black.
This is a huge, yeah, very big corner. I mean, it's all third line, so it's not
Yeah.
humongous. But yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's a 24-point corner for black.
So if white should basically, cut off black in the middle there, top middle, is he really going to have a good chance of keeping all that territory?
Well, it's black's move.
Oh, I see.
Right,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
black can play over here, but here's the good news for white. White will play over here.
So you're saying white can take one side or the other?
Exactly. White will get one of these sides, and whatever side white will get, the wall on that side is humongous. Right? Effectively, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stone wall from the side of the board.
Well, as a cube player, I find that if you go back just 2 moves or so, I find myself very disturbed, wanting to protect on both sides and realizing I can only do one.
Oh, yeah, you have to. The Zen of Go, right? Yin and yang, right? You can't get everything. You just have to get the important stuff.
So the attitude for perfection would be get over it.
Yeah, basically.
Figure out which one you're going to take
Yeah,
and take it.
this is still really powerful, right? You have a really, really solid wall in the middle here. Whichever way black goes, if black goes this way, this is humongous, right? Black has to come there immediately, basically. Maybe there, but even if black goes that far, white's just going to do this without hesitation, or that, and just continue to build this.
Well, if you back up a little bit, there. Okay, at this point, you had black jumping out, but on the upper, the center there, but because of the 2 stones in that corner and only 1 stone in the lower corner, would black be better to push down
Well, probably not. This is the more developable side.
for black?
Yeah. No, for white.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is,
Yeah.
I'm not certain how black should choose which side to go there.
Okay. So you have to imagine a wall going this way,
Yes.
right? This is on the 4th line,
Yeah.
right? I'm gonna transpose this corner. I'm just gonna rotate it over here.
Okay.
Would you rather have this, or would you rather have this? So you're comparing this to this. Which one would you rather have?
I'm not certain.
You want this one.
I do.
Yeah, you want it.
Okay, because that the single stone on the 4-4 point is more vulnerable.
Is more vulnerable, and this 5-4 stone comes out farther. It's a more highly developed stone. We're trying to make boxes, right?
Yeah.
Which one makes the better box? This or this?
Former.
Yeah, of course. Right, much better box, much more solid.
Well, I think one of my considerations here, in the dim recesses of my mind,
Yeah.
was that having the 2 stones in the upper left, therefore, well, the way it was before.
Yeah, but if we're transposing it, right?
Yeah.
Sort of flipping
That
out.
the 2 stones would be, here's more potential development, or more strength, I think. Yeah.
This is not an attacking move. This is purely defensive, right? We're trying purely reduction.
Oh, I thought that was somewhat offensive in.
No, we're not attacking anything. There's no offense. This is saying, oh, you can make a lot of points here. Let's defend that and not let you make a lot of points there. Purely defensive play. Like a move, like if black already had this here, like this would be offensive.
Yeah.
Right? We're going to attack you and perhaps disrupt your thickness at the same time. I mean, this is very forward thinking. This is just preventative. So white's happy to come back over here. But white would be happier, I guess is the real point,
Yeah.
to be able to turn there. Like white's happiest here.
So.
And one more reason why white's even happier is just because this stone over here, even this corner has an effect too. This stone is trying to reduce this way, right?
Yeah.
Well, if this stone is reducing over here, then white has less potential over here now, because this stone's over here.
That I'm a little weak at seeing.
Okay.
Okay.
Compare this.
Yes. Which is working upwards,
Like
that's
this.
working across the bottom.
Yeah. So this whole wall, right, projects influence this way.
Yeah,
And with this stone, right, we're trying to build a box over here.
yeah.
So if I want to approach this stone gingerly, I can go there, right? That's okay. I mean, it's probably going to get attacked. Probably only there in reality. Whereas if it's here, I can go a line closer. You know, so which way can I make the bigger box? Which way can I project this influence further?
So what you're showing me at the bottom, lower left there, is very much conditioned on which end we capped off in the upper right. Like the stone.
Oh yeah. So like whichever way, if black jumps out right now,
Yeah.
like this is a really important decision on this board. And it's my belief, you know, at my level, that this way is way better
Okay.
because of this stone and these two stones.
So at this point, white would duck under on the 17.
More than likely.
And then
More than likely.
black would be looking at, here's a big potential white center. But this is, yeah,
So probably this.
I might see that.
You might see that.
I might see that.
Cool. Cool. If we flip it, right, everything is reverse. So this is now the bigger side with more potential. So we cut over here. White blocks this way, and the same idea applies. We reduce that way.
Yeah, okay.
So same exact situation.
So black maybe makes the decision which way to go on the upper right, depending on what the lower left looks like.
Well, really the whole board, but the lower left is the most
Or
important.
in this scenario,
Yeah, I would say. Well, I'd say the upper left and the lower right are actually even more important. Because first and foremost, when we play a move like this,
yeah,
we're trying to ruin white first. What's the best way to ruin white? Well, it's to reduce the bigger potential side. And it just so happens in this formation that this also ruins, or by one line of difference, this stone ruins this potential side by one line more. Right, this stone is more defensive over here.
okay.
So yeah, this is sort of you know, they say that the path to showdown is understanding how to use thickness. Like that's what showdown is about. Is you get to showdown because you know how to use walls. Like that's what makes you showdown. This is like that showdown thing, right?
And I think the exit from QW is not being thick.
Not being thick like with walls, or what do you mean? Or thick-headed, not being thick-headed.
Yeah.
That too. But yeah. Here, let's review this Joseki. Let's go back to the original pattern. And so black has a 3-3. White approaches. And so let's say black plays this way now. Let's do it the opposite way. And in this case, white jumps off, right? Tries to play fast. Next move. What's the cool move?
Forgot already.
It's a cool one you wouldn't normally think of. You said so yourself.
And I've already forgotten. Oh, the clamp. Yeah, right. Turn the clamp. Yeah.
All right, next move.
Okay, so white defends that cut.
Good.
So black, what?
Very good, yeah. There is another Joseki move here. It's very, very similar,
Yeah.
but we'll just play the simple one. Atari. All right, last cool move. Do we connect? No. You do not connect. All right, we got to find a better move.
Oh, oh yeah, right, the Atari, the Blackstone.
Very good.
Right, there we go.
All right, then black. Play it, play it, play it.
Huh?
Play it on your board. Practice.
And the black says, fine, I'll eat that white stone.
Very good. White.
And protect the petty points.
Very good. Defend.
Black comes out.
Good. Either side. White.
White is extend.
Good. Just continue to stay ahead of black.
Probably protect the other side because that's the biggest.
I think copper is actually go again.
Oh,
I think. Realistically, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
You know,
And
90
at this point, I can
9%.
pointed the last white stone. Now, this is something I've seen something similar like this before,
Mhm.
and I've been feeling some question as if white walks away from this.
Ooh.
Yeah, black jumps in there.
Yeah, black's very happy.
Okay, so this, and I've always felt that, well, fine, white can play on the 15 line there.
This
No,
one.
in one. Yeah, on the, right there, yeah.
Oh, no.
And then white takes it 14, yeah. And this seems to have limited usefulness
For black or for white?
for white.
Yeah, that's why white doesn't do this.
Okay, so this is why, going back to Joseki, why we don't just leave the two there, we gotta come
Yeah,
down.
this is a really important point.
Right.
Right. Otherwise, we no longer are developing this. Black gets to develop all this, and our
Yeah.
central influence is ruined.
So at this point, black continues doing the same pattern on the other side.
Very good.
And then at that point, black decides which side to extend.
Yeah, black can tanuki, black can
Yeah.
reduce, black has the sentai to decide.
Well, this would be, black has no concern about the group. It's entirely what he does here is,
Yeah.
well, we're gonna make the biggest impact, and Tanuki is quite likely.
It depends. This entirely depends on the board. Like there's no rule here as
Yeah.
for what black does. Entirely board dependent. Corner group is certainly safe. It doesn't need any help whatsoever. Black has reductions on both sides if black needs it. Yeah, find the biggest move on the board. And yes, if white has a big development going on over here, then this, or this might very well be the biggest move on the board, but we don't know.
So even if black say Tanuki's on the bottom,
Yeah, that's a big move. Yep.
white maybe should play one more move on the upper right just to cut something off.
I don't know. All right. I don't know exactly what white should play, but this is so tempting
Yes,
at this point. It's certainly tempting. This might also be playable.
yeah.
I mean, play this first, see if you can get a response out of black, see what black does. If black just backs off, then we play this, we know this is the side we want to develop. I don't know. I don't know what's
Maybe
best.
if white made a play on the bottom and black ignored it,
Mhm.
I mean,
Well, black can play something like this, which is an indirect response to it,
yeah.
right? Because we're still reducing the potential of this wall while undermining the corner, while making a base for ourselves. So like a move like this would be perhaps very playable. At the same time, black wants to come over here and make sure this thickness is reduced this way as well. So a move over here, or even just there, is also called for. I mean, it's a game. It's a game.
Yeah, well, at this stage of this game, I think I would be feeling a little nervous about that upper left-hand corner.
As white?
Yeah, as white.
No, but the 4/4 stone's flexible. It might not make any points, but it's flexible.
Okay, well, so what I'm thinking,
And later, if black does this, you always have this move too. Now this corner is completely sealed in. Your thickness is perfected, and you have developments on both sides.
okay, so the fact that black can come in and mess around shouldn't alarm me too much.
No, not at all. And if black just does something simple like this, you might even play a Joseki like this and build thickness and then counterattack over here. You could even play standard, I suppose, and then lean on this group somehow. Actually, that's not really that good. Yeah, I'd probably do that. I think it's probably better. Find a way to use this. So anyway, those are your sort of like 4 major Joseki to come out of this 3-3 point. There's really not a lot of really important ones to know. Really, it's the 2 shoulder hits and sort of those 2 approach moves. And if you understand those concepts, you can play 3-3 in all your games and 90% of the time be fine. Your opponents won't trick you with some other variation that you've never seen before, hopefully.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yes.
All right. Let's practice it a few more times. We'll do that with you at the boards.